Oh, I got a package. Yeah, I know you don't like to accept packages, but what else do you do? Okay. Hey, this week on JTV, we're creating wedding garlands, pre-made wedding pew garlands from the great people at FernTrust. Today's project is brought to you by FernTrust. You're familiar with FernTrust. They're the people who make the fabulous foliage bouquets for the Ask program. Those bouquets that we simply cut and drop into a vase and we're finished. And that's the key to today's project. We're going to talk about pew markers. And today's project is right inside this box. Pew markers from FernTrust. The great thing about FernTrust foliages is that they're cared for with a special FernTrust patented process. They immerse all of the foliages in cold water and use their patented leaf sealer. This is what we call the Fern Cool process, and it ensures that you're going to have the very best vase life for all of your floral products. Let's take a look at the foliages inside this box. They have all sorts of different types. The great part about this is when you open up the box, you know the foliage is absolutely fresh. There's a full-time quality control supervisor that ensures that the Fern Cool process is followed the entire way. Look at this one. We've got Plumosa and Salal, along with Spring Rye and Pittosporum. That's beautiful. Each one of these can be customized to your own specifications. I was just talking to Jana the other day at FernTrust. They did 4,400 feet of Italian ruscus for a special party in New York City. They have specialists and designers down there that will create garlands any length that you want. And that's where the idea for these pew markers came from. Little shorter pieces that allow us to be creative. This one has ivy, variegated, and green, along with the spring rye and the plumose. This one has Italian ruscus and spring rye. The combinations are endless. And this one is strictly made of plumosa. That's really rich and elegant. The great thing about FernTrust is that they have all sorts of foliages. And there's all different kinds. Such a wide variety that you can have all sorts of different combinations. And the best way for you to figure out those combinations is to use their fern fan. They created this wonderful fan that shows all the different ferns that they create, all of the different palms they grow, all of the novelty seasonal products. There's single leaf tropicals in here, trailing vines, woody ornamentals. Everything they make is inside this fern fan. The great thing about pre-made garlands is that we can customize them. So we could use these just as they are. Attach a bow to this and we're ready to go. Think of how time-saving that is for you. This is already created, already beautiful. It simply pops out of the box and goes right on the pew. Or we can customize it and make it personal for the wedding. So today, we'll do that using one of the designer spots from Floricraft. The great part about the designer spots is that they come pre-wrapped, so there's no damage to the designer spots. We can soak them, use the large one, or today, we'll actually use the small one. I've used some metallic wire and actually attached it to the design spot itself. Using the two side attachments, I ran the wire directly through the center of the foam, and I also caught the edge of the cage. The reason that I did that is so that the cage won't fall off and is attached along with the wire. It's a safeguard for me just to ensure that nothing happens during the ceremony. I bent these and then they simply turn this way and slip over the pew. It's a very simple attachment that we can customize to fit almost any pew in any church. We can lay these flat then for our design process. So today, we'll attach this directly to the cage, and we'll do that with a couple of chenille stems. I love using the moss green pipe cleaners or chenille stems, and then my attachment actually goes right on the cage itself. So I'm bringing that through, catching the cage and also catching a portion of the garland and tying it together in one spot. I've got this extra stem, so I can weave that back through the cage again, wrap it around my garland, and bring it back here and tie it together. That loop that I left can be wrapped around and attached again, just securing everything as much as I possibly can. It's so important because when that's hanging there, I don't want anything to knock it off. But look how great that already looks. We've got a place for flowers to go in and a water source, and our garland hangs down, and it's completely secure. One of the other great products that FernTrust creates is Color Fresh. We have webisodes here at JTV about Color Fresh. This is one of my favorites. This is called White Shimmer Plumose, and it's been painted entirely white using a patented process again. Color is added to the leaf sealer that FernTrust uses in their FernCool process, and they can paint wonderful fine foliages and give them a complete coat and then add that amazing glitter. This is great because we can accent a little bit of white in with our garland, and because the white will be against this green background, it's going to show up perfectly. So we'll choose a couple pieces. I like these wonderful long pieces that extend all the way down. And because plumose sometimes weaves itself together, we'll use those two pieces as one. Cut the stems and place it into our water source. These other pieces we'll reserve for a little bit later, and we'll put them off the back side so we can conceal the attachment that we have for the pew. Now, this can be as simple or as elaborate as you want it to be. We could have one rose up here. We could even take one lily blossom and glue it directly into the plumosa garland if we wanted to. But today, we're using several different types of flowers, so that's why I want to have a water source. We'll start with some white dendrobium orchids from Amy's. And then these beautiful white lilies from Rosa Flora. Now this one beautiful lily is going to conceal almost all of that for us. We'll group the second one into the side. And then we have the bud. We'll fill in between those. With a piece or two of the Color Fresh. We'll have one more piece that comes up over the back. It's going to be great to have that cascade over the back because it makes it interactive. Now our last step is to add ribbon. Traditionally, you could use white satin or a wonderful damask pattern. I've got a great ribbon from Reliant that we'll use today. I love this ribbon because of that center inlay of the white. And the chartreuse screen makes the white flowers look even more white. Now, obviously, you could create a bow and tie a bow around this garland and attach it to the pew. But today, we're going to weave it and also use our JTV technique to create something that looks like a bow in between the flowers. I'm cutting dovetail ends on the ribbon, and we need our hyacinth stake. So bringing our ribbon down and having that weave up through our flowers, just take the stick and push that up inside there. Then taking our stick, and we're using the flat end again, we're going to push it right into the artesia base of our designer spot. We'll loop it up on the other side and push it into the foam. Because this is a wonderful polyester ribbon from Reliant, and we're adding it directly to water, we don't have to worry about it wicking up the water. The polyester is just going to shed the water. We'll add one more loop on this side. Adding it this way makes it look as if the bow's underneath and inside the flowers. It doesn't go over the top of them. It doesn't take up a whole bunch of room. It's woven in there nicely, and our two tails cascade down the side. Our two wire pieces then fit around the pew, and we have an incredible pew marker that was easy to make and saved us time and saved us money. It's beautiful. And the best part about it is that it's all made possible from the fabulous foliages that come from FernTrust. Until next week, keep having fun with flowers.